Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. Government plans to make it illegal to be annoying in public as part of its new Anti Social Behaviour Bill have suffered a major defeat this week after an amendment to the bill received overwhelming backing in the House of Lords. Clause 1 of the new bill proposes replacing ASBOs with IPNAs, or injunctions to prevent nuisance and annoyance. The injunctions have a lower threshold of behaviour than ASBOs and are seen as a fresh threat to free speech, which could catch buskers, street preachers and protesters. But an amendment tabled by former Chief Constable Lord Dear, which called for nuisance and annoyance to be replaced with a higher test of causing harassment, alarm or distress, in line with existing laws, was carried by 306 votes to 178. The Reform Clause 1 group, backed by the Christian Institute and the National Secular Society, welcomed the outcome of the vote. And on the BBC's Daily Politics show, Giles Fraser told Norman Baker, the government minister responsible for the bill, that the proposed wording of the bill was just silly.
It's very silly for this to be built around words like annoyance and nuisance. I mean, this is, you've just gone to the wrong part of the dictionary, I have to say. I mean, these are words that we cannot make subject to any sort of legislative stuff, as we will keep on hearing about Ben Wingers, we will keep on hearing about Art Mabels, and unless we get rid of these words and actually make something a little bit more objective, then it's silly. It's just dead silly.
Because I don't think it does what the opponents of the bill or the opponents of the clause says it does, and if it did say that, I wouldn't be supporting it. But I'm very happy to look again at the wording. We'll see what the Lords have said. I'll analyse it in detail. I'll talk to my colleagues in the Lords, and we'll come back. But there is no intention from the government, either side of the government, as a matter of fact, to do anything to limit people's civil liberties.
There's been more good news this week after a church group threatened with losing its charitable status was told that it can now reapply to become a registered charity. The long-running dispute arose after the Charity Commission refused to register the Preston Down Plymouth Brethren because its Holy Communion services are for members only. The Commission said at the time it was not satisfied that the practices of the group met the public benefit requirements in charity law. But now the Commission has reversed that and said it will accept an application from the Preston Down Trust based on a revised governing document. A Commission statement released this week said it is satisfied that under the new governing document, the organisation is charitable and that the Commission will be able to regulate the charity against the new trusts. The Christian Institute's Simon Calvert said, "We welcome the Charity Commission's change of heart. It's not for them to tell churches who should and who should not receive Holy Communion. The decision will have important implications for the protection of religious liberty for all churches." A Church of England minister in London has said he would conduct a gay marriage if he was legally allowed to. Revd Andrew Cain, who has 2 church halls registered to perform civil partnerships, says the church's legal bar on carrying out same-sex weddings is unacceptable. He said, "I'm very proud of being Church of England. They've just made a terrible mistake." The minister, who has put up "Keep Calm and Support Equal Marriage" posters in his churches in West Hampstead and Kilburn, added, "Anglican bishops made a terrible fuss and said that marriage is between a man and a woman. As a result, when the government introduced the law, they took them at their words and excluded the Church of England. It was just deeply embarrassing." In Scotland, draft sex education guidance has been accused of showing a shocking contempt for the rights of parents. Under proposals contained in the Relationships, Sexual Health and Parented Education Guidance, children would be taught certain aspects of sex education across the curriculum, despite parents removing them from formal lessons on the topic. Critics say the guidance also removes reference to children learning about the value placed on marriage by religious groups and stops short of guaranteeing that teachers or pupils who have any ethical concerns would have their conscience respected. But the Scottish Government say they are seeking to ensure that pupils have an understanding of a variety of beliefs and opinions and use this to encourage confident, capable young people who can form healthy, respectful relationships with others. Plans to give local authorities power to curb fixed odds betting terminals have been rejected by Coalition MPs. The Labour motion, which would not have been binding, would have allowed councils to restrict the number of terminals in high street bookmakers. The motion followed recent calls from a number of councils around the country for more power to deal with growing concern over the high-stake machines. Known as the crack cocaine of gambling, The terminals allow stakes of up to £100 to be placed every 20 seconds on virtual casino games like blackjack and roulette. Labour's Tom Watson said, "We should never really have licensed these machines in the way we did in 2005, and we should put the matter right as quickly as possible." David Cameron said he shared concerns about the terminals, but the government are waiting for a report on their impact, due to be published later this year. Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.